Hello everyone, welcome to my channel 100 Stories. Today I have come with a guest as I promised in story 10. Dun dun dun! So here's my father. Say hi to everyone.
Hi. Well, I'm Ram Pradhan. By profession, I was journalist for almost a decade, and after that, I'm in academic field. Currently, I'm pursuing my PhD degree.
In what?
In population studies under social science. It is relevant to mention here that I'm also founder of Jana Productions.
Oh, that's right.
And that is our family business. Another founder is your mother. I think
And
it is
me?
better to mention that you are also being a family member.
It's my name after all.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it is named after your name. Yeah, birth name. Yeah.
So guys, my father, or I call daddy, is one of my main inspirations to start this whole 100 Stories channel, and as I said in story 10 also, he is one of my regular audience as well. So I decided to play like a short quiz of 10 questions of the 10 stories so far, and I'm going to ask them in random order, and if you guys want to play it too, you can keep record of your scores and stuff. So now let's begin with question 1. What is the name of the helpful old woman who helped Wei and his friends?
It's from story 5, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. She is Dolma Sherpa.
Is Olivia only the second main female lead character in 10 stories?
Yeah, she is. She is other than Anusha.
And how many jobs was Akash fired from?
I think 3.
Yep.
3? Yeah. He works hard in 4th job, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There. How old is Kiran? Story 1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on that. He's 20 years old.
Yes. And where is Hina Kirigiri from?
She's from Japan,
Like the town's name?
a capital city of Japan, Tokyo.
Yes. And what is the name of the master's son?
Master's son. Yeah, Venus. Venus.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And where does Anu live?
Are you talking about specific town or village name or something like that, or just like country and state?
You can just say country and state.
Yeah, she's from India, UP India, Uttar Pradesh India.
Yes, that is correct. And what is the name of the government minister?
Santosh Dahal.
In which grade was story 9 written?
You are talking about like which grade you were in when you wrote story 2, isn't it?
You mean 9?
I mean story. You were in grade 2. I know that very well.
Then who is B and Venido?
B and Venido is one of the character of story 8, Joshua in Manila. He is Joshua's father, the main character's father.
Okay, seems like you are very knowledgeable about my stories. You got like 10 by 10, so congratulations, let's clap.
Congratulations to me.
Yeah. So how do you find my stories?
Well, that's a good question, and I'm very willing to answer that. But before that, I want to know,
Yeah.
what do you find yourself?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, not to be boasting or anything, but I find my stories very good. Like the settings, the plot, the characters, like how they interact with each other. I think I have developed it in a good way. And yes, there may be some rooms to improve, but I'm still working. There are still 90 stories. Yeah, like that story 9 is an example of that. Gaurav in Hawaii. From that small age only, I started to write, and
Yeah.
I think that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's superb. I 100% agree with you. Your stories are amazing. In terms of, as you mentioned, in terms of technicalities of stories. For example, in case of Joshua's story, he comes from a fisherman's family, and also that family is involved in agriculture occupation. And after that, you develop his character, that Joshua character, as like many other youths of today's world,
Yeah.
He wants some kind of job which is a bit fancier, which is like related with the corporate world or something like that in big city like in Manila. Actually, that dream is shared by many youths of the today's world. And similarly, if we come to Olivia's story, there also you have created fantastic setting, that Silicon Valley and everything, because she belongs to a billionaire family. So I'm quite impressed by your style of developing setting. Similarly, if we talk about, as you mentioned earlier, like
Thanks for
characters,
that.
part is also
Can you
fantastic.
give an example?
Yeah, of course. For example, Anusa, kind of courage she shows while there is a disaster, a massive disaster, that's amazing. And how she fights with the situation and takes the role of a hero at last, that's amazing.
So can we discuss a bit about the story structure?
Of course, why not? That is one of the another important part of story. Well, there are different concepts of story structure, but I know that you are aware about that. Share a little bit your experience or your understanding about that 12 stages journey of hero.
Yeah, definitely. So the 12 stages of the hero's journey is developed by Joseph Campbell, and it is regarded as one of the most classic forms of writing. Like there is ordinary world, then there's call to adventure, refusal of the call, meeting the mentor, etc. etc. And it is believed that J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, has also followed that, I heard somewhere. So, can you tell me a bit about the 3-act structure?
In 3-act structure, what happens is story is divided into 3 parts, like beginning, middle, and ending.
Yes, that is pretty simple.
Yeah, in the beginning, often characters are introduced, the setting is established, and to some extent they may enter in the stage of conflict. That is another important part of any story. And after that, in second part or in middle, there is whole conflict and everything, problems and efforts to overcome from that problem by hero particularly. And after that, in third part or in the ending, often story moves towards the conclusion in a way. Okay, so there either hero overcomes from problem or some story is settled somehow.
So, do you think I followed it?
Well, if I have to talk about 3-act structure, it is, very widely used, and I believe you have also followed.
Yep.
To great extent, I would say. If we examine Olivia with this theory, introduce Olivia, her family background, after that her father's business and everything, after that her will of living a normal person's life. And after that, in second part or in middle part, you have introduce father's refusal, continuous refusal, and after that to justify his way of managing his family. Like I remember once she asked, "Father, I want to go some swimming pool," and she says,
And public theaters.
Yeah, public
The
theaters.
swimming
And our father says, "Well, if you have that facility at home only, why should you go? Why you want to go?" And that is a kind of, in a story, it is not necessarily conflict should be in any physical form.
Yeah, it can be inner conflict also.
Yeah, it can be inner conflict. Inner conflict within character is also one kind of conflict.
Yeah, it's mental.
Yeah,
thing.
mental thing, like whether to do something or not to do something. The conflict between Olivia's thought and father's thought is that it is soft kind of conflict, but it is very strong conflict, because this is considered as their philosophy. In third part, what happens? Her father agrees on her idea, and after that she
Goes on a trip.
Yeah, goes on a trip with her friends as she wanted.
So what do you think is the best part?
That is your performance, presentation, because you are not only writing story here, but you are presenting them also in audio and video form. and how you are presenting with what kind of energy, that's amazing for me. Okay, like you first write a story, after that
Finalize it.
yeah, finalize it by practicing, and after that you sit for filming, we generally say, in front of camera, and after that how we speak, I mean, in different characters voice. For example, I want to recall voice of Olivia, that's amazing. Okay, or rich girl, like
Seems
a
like,
bit stylish way,
mentioning
yeah, a bit
Olivia a
stylish
lot.
way, yeah. And after that I want to recall the story of those brother and sister, when they are approaching to school, how they speak, like say bye, like
Bye, brother.
and what is very like relevant to mention here also, when you created that story, you were also of their age, that's why probably you imagine them. Okay, and after that I also want to recall the voice of that minister Santosh Dal, like he speaks very slowly, but a bit in a person,
voice.
in a person's voice who is in power. These are the some examples, your like amazing performance of voice work.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why I count it as the best part.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, I also like doing the different characters' voice a lot, like the voice acting part. So that is the part I also like. So do you remember something we decided to add from Story 11 onwards?
I think you are talking about background music, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, that's an amazing idea, no doubt on that. If possible, you insert some sound effects also, actualities also, because that helps to like create the situation in audience's mind. So it is,
like paint the picture mentally.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the second part of this discussion, which is English language. Okay, so what do you think about English?
Okay, you mean to say why you should discuss about English here, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, first of all, I want to make clear to your audience or viewers that I'm not here in the capacity of any linguistic expert or anything like that. I'm just here because Angel invited me to comment on her stories. And
Yep.
yeah, and what I believe is to make any story influential or impactful, we need to master the language. Okay, whatever language we use. So it is very important to master in particularly speaking English, since you are telling stories. While we talk about speaking English, being a non-native speaker, we have some flaws, we have some weaknesses, and it applies. I'm not talking you specifically, it applies to all of us. There are 26 letters in English from A to Z, and there are also 44 sounds, but we don't much focus on those sounds. While speaking, we need to master those sounds. For example, I want to just tell some examples. I came from public school, and during my career of journalism, I had to struggle a lot because of English. Okay.
Yeah.
So
can you tell like that one story of BBC?
I used to tell you that. That's why probably you recall now, because how I struggled when I started to work in BBC because of English. Because I worked with different like supervisors from different countries, like from England, of course, and other countries like Australia, Canada, and some other countries. So they had their own style of speaking, and since BBC's often business language is English, and I was in a position to like perform my job in Nepali like language as a like producer in BBC. I know one of my supervisor used to speak English very fast, and when we used to cross way, we used to ask something, and I had
so
to
confused.
I used to get confused, like what he's talking about. Then I realized that I have to improve my English. Okay, so when I completed my job, first thing I did was I revisited those all sounds of English. 44 sounds there are in English, or there are different views also how many actual sounds are there. Whichever source I followed, that was developed by a linguistic expert of BBC, and she has mentioned about 44 different sounds. And after that, how they are applied in words. I realized that while we create a sentence, we take some words from American English, we take some words from British English, maybe some words from Australian English also.
Some examples?
Yeah, for example, we have mobile phone, isn't it?
Yep.
We have mobile phone, we call mobile phone in British English. But if you consider from American perspective, that is cell phone. Okay?
Cell phone.
Similarly, we have garbage here. That is, garbage is American word. British prefer to say that rubbish. Okay? For example, you are developing a story considering that you are developing in British language, which often you do. They are 100% in British English or not. Let's leave that for native speakers or the linguistic experts. But in our view, you are trying to develop in British English. For example, you are writing a story in British language, but if you put a word like garbage or let's say cell phone, then there is mix up. English has variation. Okay, American speak different way. Not only speak, they have different vocabularies, they have different grammar also. Similarly, spelling is different. For example, if we talk about spelling, in British English, for example, it is called center, CENTRE. American want to say center with raw clear pronunciation and ER. Okay, American English is a bit straight. Okay, though there are other streams also, but these are considered the two major streams. So you need to follow one. Whichever you are following, you should master on that. Okay, that's my point.
Yeah, but there are variants in like American English itself or British English itself, right? Because like the people from Texas or Florida speak different from the people of New York, and in Britain's case also it is same.
Yeah, that's true. That applies in England also. It might create some kind of confusion also. What we need to do is, we need to follow a standard English dictionary to clear it. Okay? There are different dictionaries, but we follow, as you are aware, OALD, that is Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. Okay? And you are aware that how British and American English are, identified.
Yeah, like in the slash there is written BRE or something, and
BRE.
Yeah, BRE, that stands for British English, and there is in another NAME, which is North American English.
Yeah, you are correct. And you have good, knowledge of it also.
Of course, you made me practice for like years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when we flip dictionary or we search meaning of any word of dictionary, we mostly go for like meaning only and we leave it. But we have to go that sound structure also, which are put in two slashes, so that we have knowledge how to pronounce that word in particular style. Okay. For example, we may find difference as we discussed earlier, like American use single L instead of double L, which British use. For example, controlled. For example, British want to put OUR in neighbor, color, but American want to remove that U from word and they just pronounce neighbor. So we need to take care of those things. And when you develop stories, what you need to do is you need to write those words correct way and speak also correct way. Okay, that's what my point is. One thing. And another thing, okay, you had mentioned earlier that okay, people speak different ways of English, then why don't we develop stories in that way also? Okay, I just make it simple. There are two parts in your story. One is your narration part, that is you speak, and another you put in inverted comma and speak like that. We talk about different voice, your skill of voice. Okay, that part you can play around, you can modify. Okay, like according to the local dialect. For example, nowadays there are words like English, because Indian people have developed English in their own way because it is large population and their like style is also like developing differently in world market of English. Similarly, Chinese people are higher in number, so how they speak matters. Okay,
Sounds funny, right?
yeah, it is funny. Yeah, when you like put in that voice, or you present that voice in inverted comma, no, you can like use that dialects of Chinese, Indian. For example, in case of Anusa, how a girl from grade 10 speak. Being a story writer, like you should be clear that your part should be in one standard, whether that is British or American, okay? But after that, whatever voice you present, that should be in different dialects, okay? Of particular. In Nepal also we speak in Nepalese way.
Yeah, thanks for all the advice. Like we discussed, it was fun and all. So, what are your final thoughts?
Okay, the main thing is you are fantastic story writer, okay, and fantastic presenter. You just keep on exploring like new ideas, okay, new societies. That's what I just want to like ask you to do, okay. A bit make research part stronger. Though you are doing that also fantastically, very depth research you do. I have learned that, okay.
So guys, this was the end of our discussion. Did you like this video? If you did, why not like it and subscribe my channel while you're at it? Why don't you say instead?
Well, yeah, I request everyone to watch videos, to comment on stories,
Share stories.
Share also, yeah.
Okay, so that's it. Let's say bye together. Bye.